Hello, welcome to the TV and Film Review Podcast, Episode 4. I'm your host, Stuart Scott. Triumphant return for this week. Thanks very much to David for last week for filling in as host. This week joining us, we've got another triumphant return, Liam Kearney, our news editor.
Hello, hello.
We've got, returning from last week, Molly Freeman.
Hi.
And making her podcast debut, our film writer, Kate McCall.
Hi everyone. No trumpet.
No trumpets, I'm afraid, sorry.
Damn. Should we say where David is today as well?
Oh yeah, absolutely. David won't be joining us today because he is off getting married this weekend. Was it yesterday? Today?
I think it's today.
I think it's today as well.
Yeah. So congratulations to him and wish him well on his honeymoon.
Indeed.
So, I don't know if you guys want to start off with what we've been watching this week.
Yeah.
Maybe?
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
let's go for it.
Okay, so Kate, you're off eager. Why don't you start?
Well, I haven't been watching a great deal, but I did want to bring up a couple of things that I have been watching. Well, I've been catching up on actually this week. And they're kind of British centric, but I'll go for it anyway. One of them is a kind of dark comedy that's just started a couple of weeks ago on BBC Two called Inside Number 9. Have any of you been watching this?
I've seen it advertised. I didn't watch it. What's it about?
It's from two of the League of Gentlemen. It's from Steve Pemberton and Reece Shearsmith. And they're kind of one-off plays really, but they're very dark comedies in the vein of League of Gentlemen and Psychoville. So the first two have just been on, and they're all on the iPlayer on Series Link if you want to catch up. But it kind of brings to mind Black Mirror as well. If any of you guys watched any of that, the Charlie Brooker show. Yeah, so it's that kind of. I mean, I think Black Mirror is a little bit more focused on the drama side of things. Inside Number 9's very much the dark comedy, but it is like dark comedy. But it's very funny as well. I think if you like the League of Gentlemen and that kind of that humour, it's definitely worth checking out. So, like I said, they're only half an hour eps. I just watched the first two. I think on Friday, Saturday, I caught up with them, and it's really worth watching. So I just wanted to put a bit of a shout out to that as well to get people watching it because it is very good.
Yeah, absolutely. I need to give it a go.
And the other thing I've been catching up on, which I think you mentioned a couple of weeks ago, Stu, is Ja'mie Private School Girl.
Oh, thank God someone else is watching it because that's totally
I know. I was listening to the podcast and there was just like tumbleweed when you mentioned Summer Heights High and Angry Boys, and I was like, oh, it's such good TV.
Oh, thank God.
Ja'mie Private School Girl is the fourth show from Chris Lilly. The Australian comic who did Summer Heights High, Angry Boys, and We Can Be Heroes, and it's the third time he's played Ja'mie. I think she was in We Can Be Heroes, vying for Australian of the Year. Yeah. But I think most notably she was in Summer Heights High. And so I've watched the first. It's on BBC Three at the moment. I know it's been on in Australia. I think it's been on HBO as well.
It's been on HBO and BBC in America apparently.
Oh right, okay. I know HBO took Angry Boys and Summer Heights High. So, but it's. I still think that Summer Heights High is his peak. I still think that's the best thing he's done because those three characters were just.
See, I thought Angry Boys was the best. That was my favourite.
I think Angry Boys was a slow one. I mean, don't get me wrong, the last episode of Angry Boys made me cry so much. Just accumulation of all the storylines coming together. It was just a perfect ending, and
absolutely.
It really brought the series together. But I think Summer Heights High is more rewatchable, and I can just watch episodes and episodes of Summer Heights High. I can quote. We do quote it in my house all the time. So it's great to see him doing Ja'mie again, and it's very, it's proper like.
It's tough to watch.
I think. Yeah, well, I went to a girls' grammar school when I grew up, so I know the kind of, and I was a prefect, so I know all of that kind of environment, and it's obviously exaggerated, but it does get a lot of the things pretty spot on. But obviously, and she just loves to dance, doesn't she? And all her dance moments.
So
I know you just like, I know, and her relationship with the headmaster is just, where is that going? I don't want to know.
Aye, it's good.
Are you ahead of me, or are you at the same stage?
Where are we here?
So episode 3 will be out this Thursday.
Right, I've just finished episode 3 not too long ago.
Oh, okay. So you're one ahead. So at the moment it's building up to this party she's having. So is the party episode 3?
Yes, it's
Yeah,
really funny
okay.
as well.
I'm looking forward to that. Yeah.
Anything else?
Well, I know it's been mentioned a few times before, but I just wanted to just keep pushing True Detective. It's one of the best things on TV right now. Everybody should be watching it. I just think it's just really well done. It's so kind of atmospheric, and being a bit of a nerd, I love all the Lovecraftian references as well. And Matthew McConaughey is the turnaround he has had to get to where he is now. Woody Harrelson is good. It's actually quite interesting because I think on paper, I would, you've got the family guy who's kind of more relaxed, and then you've got the kind of the weird cop who's got this such a weird philosophy on life, such a dark philosophy. And on paper, I would say, the roles would be reversed. I would have thought Woody Harrelson would be playing the more weird one, and Matthew McConaughey would be playing the more family guy, all-round American guy. But they've swapped the roles around, which I think's really interesting and has really paid off, actually.
Yeah, it works really well. I just started watching it this week as well, and I couldn't wait for the 4th episode. I had 3 lined up, and then I was just bursting to see the 4th. It's very the comparison I keep making is Mad Men, because there's not a lot happens in it, but it's just you're so hooked to it.
I must be missing something. I didn't like it. I've only seen the first episode, but maybe it's because it's like Mad Men and it's too slow, and I don't like.
It's the first couple episodes are really slow. Episode 4 it just totally changes pace.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Is it a biker gang or something they're going to?
Yeah, I would say actually for me, it kind of had that feel of quality drama about it, and I wanted to give it a go. I know what you're saying, Liam. The first episode was a little bit slow, but I think the ending, the closing shot of episode 3, which I'm not going to give anything away, in case people haven't watched it, it's just like, oh my god, you just want to get to episode 4, and then episode 4, the last 6 minutes is just like one tracking shot, and it's just so cinematic. And it's just amazing television. It's just one of the best things out there at the moment.
Yeah, it's so well
and
done.
And it's HBO, obviously.
Yeah.
But I think you did it well, Stu. I think having stored a few up and watching them all in a go rather than week by week is maybe a good way to do it.
Yeah, I'm itching for the next one already. I think it's tonight. It is over in the States. So.
Yeah, it's tonight.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you been watching it at all, Molly?
No, I'm really not into drama series like that. One of my friends loves it. She watches it, and she keeps telling me I shouldn't watch it because she knows I won't like it. So I might wait until the whole season is over and then just watch it all in one go, or at least try to.
It's if you can get past the first 2 episodes and still be wanting to watch it, still have a desire to watch it, it's really good. You'll like it. But the first 2 episodes, it kind of sets the tone, and yeah, if you struggle with them, maybe give it a miss.
Yeah, because I had problems watching Mad Men. I watched the pilot of Mad Men, and I couldn't get past it because I was just so bored.
Yeah, it's that same sort of pacing to it. It's quite slow and tries to go a bit more in depth with everything than it needs to be. But I like that sort of thing. I really like Mad Men and all that as well. One of you guys want to go next, or?
Well, this weekend I have been watching House of Cards. I don't know if anyone else has been watching
Season 2?
Season 2, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've been watching that. Obviously, it came out on Friday on Netflix, and I've still got 2 to go. I was planning on totally binge watching it, but I seem to have managed to not plough through it as quickly as I thought it would. So I've still got 2 to go, and it's just been amazing. The first episode, I obviously don't want to give any spoilers for people, but the first episode, there's such a big twist that happens about 3/4 of the way through, which I just did not see come in, and I've seen a lot of people on the internet as well kind of saying, oh my days, can't believe that happened. So it's been really good, and then it's kind of set it up. I think it's got a bit more political, I think, than it was in the first season. A lot of it, some of it kind of goes a bit over my head, because I'm not from America, so maybe like yourself, Molly, you might maybe understand it a bit more, but some of it, kind of the political stuff that's kind of going on, I must admit, I find it a bit confusing, but it's been absolutely fantastic, and And also, it also apparently teases at the end that Orange is the New Black is coming back on the 2nd of June, which is also good news as well.
Yeah.
Can't wait for that.
Yeah, me too.
It's going to be good. So yeah, that's probably the main thing I've been watching the weekend. But obviously with the Olympics being on, most stuff's kind of been on a break, so it's been a good chance for me to kind of catch up. I think I watch far too much TV. So I've had quite a lot of stuff to kind of catch up on. So like I caught up on, I know it's kind of been discussed the past few weeks, so I won't dwell on it that much. Arrow, catching up on Arrow, which has been really good. Like you kind of said, I think it was it yourself, Molly, last week, said that out of that and S.H.I.E.L.D., it's kind of doing the comic book kind of adaptation thing a lot better.
Yeah, it definitely is.
I like, yeah, definitely, and I think the way it's kind of bringing in kind of the characters from the comics, but kind of giving them a new twist in that, I think it's been really good. Really enjoying that, and Pretty Little Liars as well. Probably far too old to be watching that.
Hey,
but,
I'm older than you, Liam, and I'm watching it.
But you're a girl, so you're probably allowed to watch it.
Well, Pretty Little Liars is a funny one, actually, because I read the books first. I can't remember if I knew that ABC Family were making it whilst I was reading the books, or I was just reading them off the cuff. But it diverts quite away from the books. And I'm a little bit behind on it, actually, but I do love it.
I know I love it. It's one of my guilty pleasures. It's been really good. This week they did a noir episode. It was all like in black. I don't know how far behind you are, but one of the characters is on pills and stuff like that, so she kind of has this kind of, the whole episode's in black and white, and everyone's kind of dressed up in 40s stuff, and they're all kind of doing that, like Hannah's works on the switchboard, and it's all that kind of 1940s stuff, so it's quite a cool episode. Quite a bit different that they've kind of done that, so that's been quite good. And obviously there's stuff about, we kind of know who, or we think we kind of know who he is now, and they're kind of getting closer to that and that sort of stuff, so it's been really good. I think it's already been picked up for a 5th season, so part of me wants that to be the last one, because I think they're kind of dragging it out a little bit.
Yeah, I think they are as well. You kind of, because I'm a bit out of the loop now, and I know once I get back into it, I'm not going to remember who knows what and who's siding with who, and it's so complex.
Yeah, it is totally.
Did you see Ravenswood had been cancelled?
Yes, I had. I'd started watching it and gave up because it went on a break before Christmas, and I hadn't watched it since it came back. So I can't say I'm that disappointed.
No.
Had you been watching it?
I hadn't seen any of it, but I kind of been following little bits of it, without trying to spoil myself too much. But obviously, I think now it's been cancelled. I probably won't bother, to be honest.
Yeah, I wouldn't bother. It wasn't very good. I'm not surprised it didn't get renewed, to be honest. But yeah, so that's good. And also, if we're doing a little shout outs for shows that people should be watching, ABC Family Switched at Birth. People should be watching that. It's a fantastic. And that's me.
Molly, do you want to take the next one, or shall I?
Yeah, I'll go next. I've also been watching the Olympics a lot. In my house, everyone's watching curling. I'm also a huge hockey fan, so I've been paying attention to the hockey games that started on Friday. I don't know if you guys are watching the Olympics at all, though.
Not a big Olympics fan myself.
No. I watched the, what was it called? It was the skiing that was kind of, they did little spins and little flips as well. It was the three sisters who were competing in it. I can't remember what it was called now. But I saw that round because I think they took gold and silver actually. There was three sisters, one of them didn't make the final, but, that's the only thing I've watched.
Okay, well, yeah, I've been watching the hockey because I'm just a hockey fan in general. But yeah, again, all of my TV has pretty much been off this week because of the Olympics. So I started watching the UK's version of Being Human. Have any of you guys seen that?
No, I watched it when it started because I thought it was going to be a bit like Misfits and Skins, but it just wasn't. So I didn't bother with it. It wasn't really my thing. No,
I think I watched the pilot episode and then they changed the cast, I think, for series 1.
Did they?
When they changed one of the cast members, I think. But yeah, I gave it a go and it wasn't really my thing either.
Yeah, I don't really know why I started watching it. It was just one of those things that's on Netflix, and I've been meaning to watch it for years. So I tried it out, and I'm actually really enjoying it. I think I watched it because Aidan Turner from the Hobbit movies is in the original series. So I've been really enjoying that. But other than that, I haven't been watching a lot of TV. Teen Wolf was new this week, which I used to review regularly for the site, and it's getting a lot better. I know everyone sort of knocks it for being a teen show, but I think it's fantastic.
I must admit, Molly, your reviews have made me want to watch it. And I've seen it on Netflix, and I keep meaning to, like, start watching it.
You definitely should.
Just because you seem so, like, it's amazing. And it's just made me really want to try it.
I mean, it's a teen show that's also just really good television, which I don't think you can find very often anymore, especially within, I mean, CW shows, I watch them all the time, and they're my guilty pleasures, but they aren't exactly good TV. I think Teen Wolf really bridges the gap between good TV and teen shows, and this new season has gotten insane. One of the actors, I don't want to spoil anything, but one of the characters took a really dark turn this season, and the actor is just totally stepping up to the plate, and it's amazing. But I think that's all I've watched this week.
Just with Liam saying that you've managed to sell him on Teen Wolf. Like David mentioned last week, you managed to sell me on Helix.
Yes.
I started watching that this week. And I don't know. I don't know if I like it or not. There was a lot of things. I mean, I spoke about it with you guys earlier on in the week. It was really, really cringy at some bits. Like, really just awful writing. But I still quite liked it. I like the idea of it, and I like that kind of edgy, spooky side to it as well, which has kind of filled the gap that American Horror Story left.
Yeah.
Which I finished this week as well.
Yeah, it's a good horror series.
Yeah, I'm going to watch the next few episodes when I get a chance and see if it gets better. The other thing that I pulled up during the week, the fracking, is that a sci-fi sci-fi thing? Because I watched Defiance when that came out. I'd done the review for the first episode of that, and that was the one thing that I really hated about that, fracking. I don't like it. It doesn't sound... It makes it sound as if you're trying to tone it down to like PG level but try to put it across as if you were using curse words. And I don't like that. Either curse or don't go in between. It's just silly.
Yeah, all I can say on that, I thought it's because Helix came from the same guy that did Battlestar, and because they had lots of fracking in it as well instead of saying.
Yeah, they did.
So I thought it was like that was his thing, but like you say, Defiance did it as well, maybe as a sci-fi thing to do it rather than it. But like you say, it is annoying. I don't know why. Yeah. Just don't put it in if you're not gonna.
I know it really stands out as well. It's not one that you can just slip in because it's not a real word, so it stands out and you notice it, and it just sounds really silly and childish. But other than that, if they stop with the fracking thing for the rest of the series, I think I'll be okay with it. I think I could watch it, and hopefully it gets a wee bit scarier as well. Because that was my one complaint from the first 2 episodes as well, was the horror bits weren't in it enough.
Yeah, it gets a lot scarier, and the plot, I mean, my friends and I have been watching it, and we were complaining that it goes a little bit slow in the earlier episodes, but I think around episode 4 or 5, it gets really good.
Okay, that's not a problem for me. I didn't really mind the pacing of it. I thought it was okay for a double pilot. I was quite happy to sit there for it. It wasn't too boring, which can be a bit of a problem with some pilots.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, True Detective that we spoke about before. I know Robbie last week was talking about Archer. I've got back into that this week on Netflix. I still don't know how I feel about it. I really like it, but it's a background show for me. I can't sit and watch it alone. It's just, I need to do something else at the same time. I don't know why, but it's really funny and it's really my style of humour. Quite sarcastic and all that. So that's my new thing just now. That's my Netflix series. Finished Always Sunny. I've been talking about it every week on the podcast, trying to get every single person I know to watch it. Finally finished it this week, and I'm really gutted now. I want to just go back and watch it all again. So roll in September.
Sorry, aren't there quite a few seasons of that? So did you just devour about 10 seasons?
Yeah, 9 seasons in 4 weeks. Shows you how sad I am. We can actually put a number on how sad I am.
Good going.
I've done the same with Grey's Anatomy back when I was catching up with that as well. So a bit of a bad habit. But yeah, roll in September for that coming back for season 10. Hopefully it gets a season 11 as well. But yeah, I'll maybe throw in a wee tribute for that for the opening theme song. We'll see what else comes up. Yeah, I think that's all I've been watching really. I wanted to go and see the Lego movie when it came out, but there was no chance that I was going to the cinema and Moan on Valentine's Day. That's a bit awkward.
I can't wait to see it.
It is good fun. I did the review for the website, and
oh yeah, of course.
I had a few issues with the ending, but overall, it's that proper, Pixar level of the adults were laughing and the kids were, and the kids were just gawping at all the colourful scenery and just like the Lego coming to life, and all the adults are just laughing at all the, like, Will Arnett being Batman. He's just
what I'm
brilliant.
hoping from it is, any of you guys play the Lego video games?
Some of them, yeah.
No.
I remember playing Lego Star Wars a fair few years ago now, and that was just so funny. Even though there was no dialogue, I love that Lego style, and I hope that's what they've brought to the movie as well.
There's a very, very good Star Wars joke, which I'm sure you'll enjoy.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm going to see her tomorrow. I'll hopefully have the review up tomorrow night, which will be the last night when this comes out. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that as well. I heard a lot of good things.
Yeah, I saw it yesterday.
Oh,
it's
you sound going to ruin it for me.
No, I know it's brilliant. It's really good, but I found it quite exhausting.
All right.
It packs a punch. I'll just say that.
Okay.
It's not light watching.
I'm sure we can talk more about it after I've seen it.
Although it's very funny, actually. It is very funny.
I think the subject matter lends itself to comedy.
Yeah.
Guy falling in love with a computer.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it's quite funny and a good watch.
It is. It's definitely worth watch. I'm looking forward to your review.
So we had a few topics lined up. I think, Kate, maybe you should go first, just while the nominations are still, or the award winners are still secret to us.
The awards are still going. Yeah. So at the time of this recording, the BAFTA awards are taking place. As we were just discussing a little bit before the show started, for some crazy reason, the show goes on. It starts about 7:00 UK time, probably finishes about 9-10 o'clock, but it's not actually broadcast on BBC One until 9:00. So pretty much the ceremony's finished by the time it goes out. So the awards are actually probably a lot of the big awards have actually been announced and we know the winners. But apart from Liam, who might have seen a few things.
I haven't. I've only seen hair and makeup. That's the only one.
Okay. So I think all of us are kind of in the dark. We don't know anything about anyone who's won or anything like that. But I just wanted to go through, kind of do a little, I mean, I know it's all going on right now, so it kind of seems a little bit strange, but I just thought, let's just say who we think's going to win. So I thought I'd just run through some of the big awards and we can just kind of discuss who we think's going to win and who we'd like to win. And I was actually going through it, and it's quite interesting actually, because there's quite a few omissions. Well, not omissions, but there are certain big names that the Oscars have gone for, which BAFTA haven't gone for. So I thought I'd start actually with Best Supporting Actor. So the nominations are Barkhad Abdi for Captain Phillips, Bradley Cooper for American Hustle, Daniel Bruhl for Rush, Matt Damon for Behind the Candelabra, and Michael Fassbender for 12 Years a Slave. Now, Jared Leto isn't nominated in this, which he has been for the Oscar, and he won the Golden Globe, and it's fairly certain that he's going to win the Oscar. But it's interesting that he hasn't nominated for the BAFTA. So I actually think this is probably one of the widest open awards of the evening. So just interested who you think might take this one.
I'm just going to open up the webpage. I've got my fingers crossed that this isn't going to spoil it for me. I hope they've not put it up on the webpage yet.
It is. They're loading. Right. The page reloads. Because I loaded mine before we started recording.
Oh God.
Yeah, so did I.
I seen one of them. I'll not put my voice in for that one.
Okay.
I haven't seen Captain Phillips yet. From what I hear, the fellow that's nominated from that has got a very strong shout, and I remember that from when the film came out here. Apparently, he's just superb in what he does. He's the leader of the pirates. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes, he's the leader of the Somali pirate.
So that would be my guess for it.
Yeah, I can't decide whether between him or because Daniel Bruhl is it Bruhl? Is that how you say second? I think he got quite a lot of people were talking about him in Rush and saying that he was really good. But yeah, I'd be surprised if it was Bradley Cooper. But yeah, no, I think it's going to be Barkhad Abdi from Captain Phillips as well. I hope it's not Michael Fassbender, just because I don't particularly like him. I think it should be the guy. I think it'll probably be the guy from Captain Phillips.
That's worse than my hatred for Benedict Cumberbatch. Not like Michael Fassbender. Everybody likes Michael Fassbender.
Yeah. Liam? Have you seen 12 Years a Slave?
No, I haven't seen 12 Years.
He is very good in that. He's a horrible, horrible person, but complex and not likable, but he's got layers, and it's a really interesting performance.
So he's playing Shrek? No? That was awful.
Yeah, I think it's between Barkhad Abdi. I think it's between Barkhad Abdi and Michael Fassbender, actually.
Yeah, I'd have to agree.
Just purely because, well, Michael Fassbender's Irish, isn't he? And you haven't really got a British guy in there. But I think it's between those two, personally. But I'm sure it's already been decided now. But we'll move on. Supporting actress is between Jennifer Lawrence for American Hustle, Julia Roberts for August Osage County, Lupita Nyong'o for 12 Years a Slave, Oprah Winfrey for The Butler, and Sally Hawkins for Blue Jasmine. Now, I've got an inkling here. I'm wondering if Sally Hawkins might take this, just because she's British and it's the British Awards ceremony.
Yeah, no, the BAFTAs like doing that, don't they?
Yeah, because I think Lupita Nyong'o will win the Oscar. And I think she probably, there's a good chance she'll take the BAFTA. But I think if Sally Hawkins is going to win anything, it's going to be the BAFTA. So I think she might sneak in there, but we'll see.
Do you think they'll do a double with Blue Jasmine?
Kate
Blanchett is the best actress.
Yeah, I think with Best Actress, I was kind of going to scoot over that one because it's obviously going to be Kate Blanchett. I don't think that's, I think everyone else is just going to turn up and smile for that one. But I think she's got that in the bag, I think. But actually, well, we can move on from that and talk a little bit about Best Actor because that's another interesting one because Matthew McConaughey won the Golden Globe for Dallas Buyers Club, and he's been winning everything in the awards season so far. And he's favourite, I think, to win the Oscar, but he's not been nominated for a BAFTA. So in the actor category, we've got Bruce Dern for Nebraska, Chiwetel Ejiofor for 12 Years a Slave, Christian Bale for American Hustle, Tom Hanks for Captain Phillips, and Leonardo DiCaprio for The Wolf of Wall Street.
Out of the ones that I've seen, they're all very, very close. And from what I've heard from the other ones, that's going to be one of the closest categories this year, I think.
Yeah, I think, again, I know we can't say biased and all of this, but I think Chiwetel Ejiofor's got the Britishness on his side. I think he might take this one.
Oh, to be fair, so does Christian Bale. He's Welsh, air quotes.
That's true, but I'm not even thinking he's got a chance, to be completely honest with you. I think his closest contender is probably going to be Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, I would have said Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
My vote would be for DiCaprio, but like you say, with the Britishness, yeah, he's probably got a wee edge on him.
I think if Ejiofor wins this, I think it'll be a really interesting going into the Oscars. I think it'll be an interesting race between him and Matthew McConaughey to see who takes the Oscar. I am still shocked that Tom Hanks was snubbed for an Oscar for Captain Phillips. I just think that's so crazy that they put Christian Bale in there and they left Tom Hanks out. So
yeah, it's pretty hard.
I'd love to. Yeah, I don't think he's going to win this, but at least he was nominated. So that was the right thing, BAFTA.
I'm quite glad that Bruce Dern got a little nomination as well because he's really great in Nebraska. Yeah. That was one of my surprises for this year.
Yeah, and I know a few people have said, sometimes I think people say with the Oscars they kind of give awards to people who, it's their time. So I think there's a few people maybe saying that Bruce Dern might take it, but I still think it's going to be between Matthew McConaughey and Chiwetel Ejiofor. But it's nice to see him recognised. It's a very good performance in Nebraska.
Yeah, what are the ones? What are the other big ones?
Talk about director. Steve McQueen for 12 Years a Slave, David O. Russell for American Hustle, Paul Greengrass for Captain Phillips, Alfonso Cuarón for Gravity, and Martin Scorsese for The Wolf of Wall Street.
I think Steve McQueen surely got that wrapped up. He's been winning everything else, has he not? But I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
No, I think Alfonso Cuarón won for the Golden Globe for that.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
he did.
I think Cuarón's got the lead, a pretty heavy lead on it.
Yeah, me too.
Just the way that Gravity was done is just crazy. Mm-hmm. Mind-blowing looking at that film.
Yeah, I think just because it was a labour of love and he'd worked on it for so long and what he managed to achieve, and you ask yourself, would another director have been able to achieve that? And I think it's his award, yeah. Although Steve McQueen is British. It is, yeah. And Paul Greengrass as well, of course. He didn't get an Oscar nomination, so and I think I thought he did a great job of Captain Phillips.
I think that's the best chance that American Hustle has as well, because that was, for all the flaws that it had, it was a really well directed film. And David O. Russell made it as good as it was. Like, he made the good bits good. Just the way that everything's shot, it's best bits about it. And when you look at the cast that he had and how he used them, it was done really well. I don't think he'll win it, but I think that's the best chance they've got.
Yeah, I've got a feeling they're going to come away empty-handed, actually, American Hustle.
Yeah, probably, just with the level of competition.
With the big awards, yeah. I think, and I'm sure they'll do well with costume design and production design and makeup and hair and things like that, but I think out of the big categories, I think they're going to be shut out.
Yep.
And I just wanted to talk about outstanding British film, actually, because it's a bit of an interesting category. Because you've got Gravity in there, which is a bit of an odd one, because you tend to think British, this is a chance to celebrate the homegrown British films. Yeah. And I know there was a lot of disappointment that Filth wasn't nominated. That seemed like a bit of a shoo-in, but then you've got films like Gravity and Rush in there, which obviously they've been nominated mainly because the production team are British, and it was a lot of the post-production and the editing and that kind of work was done in British studios. But it does seem a little bit like, you kind of wish that they would ignore that for a moment and just take into account some of the more British indie films, as it were. But I think Philomena's got this one, because Philomena's also nominated for Best Film, but I can see it. I can't see it winning Best Film, but I think this will be where it gets its award. I think it'll win British Film.
Yeah, I think that's a fair shout. I've still not seen it yet. I don't.
It's really good.
Maybe in episode 1, and it's just one of those ones that slipped past me when it was out, and didn't really get the publicity to make me go and want to see it.
Yeah, it is a bit of nuns and things like that. Yeah. It's not the greatest sell to maybe a younger audience. But it's definitely worth watching. It's very funny, and Steve Coogan and Judi Dench are a great little pair together. But I'd really like to see The Selfish Giant win. I think that's a proper British film that's kind of been overlooked a little bit. Although in terms of the BAFTAs, I'm sure they're really, the team are just happy with the nomination. But I'd love to see them win it, because that was a bit of a surprise one for me last year. It was kind of I kind of didn't mean to see it, and I ended up seeing it at the London Film Festival and was just blown away by it. And it just the two young leads in that are phenomenal, and it really made me cry. So I'd love to see that do well, but I think Philomena's got that one.
Yeah, like you said, it's an award that I think it should be looking more at the indie scene rather than the big name stuff, especially when it's just the production team that are involved. It's clearly like a big Hollywood movie like Rush and Gravity. I think they should be looking more at kind of homegrown.
Yeah, I think this is a little bit of a problem that I have with the Spirit Awards as well in America. I think they tend to overlap a little bit with the mainstream films that they tend to get the same nominations as the Oscars and the Golden Globes, and I think it's an opportunity to celebrate more lesser known films and indie films, and that's what the Independent Spirit Awards are all about. But anyway, I'm going off topic. So, should we just close on Best Film and what we all think is going to win Best Film? So, there's 12 Years a Slave, American Hustle, Captain Phillips, Gravity, and Philomena. What do we think is going to win the big award?
I can't see past Gravity. That's been the one that everyone says. Like, some people say, 12 Years a Slave was brilliant and really moving and all that. But every single person that's seen Gravity says just mind-blowing, amazing. And I think that's going to shout.
I'd have to go 12 Years. I must admit, I've not seen any of the films in the category. Shocking. But I'd have to go 12 Years Slave just because it feels like the type of movie that wins these type of awards, like BAFTA and Oscars and that. It just feels like a film that would win that award, so I think it's going to be 12 Years a Slave. But I'd like it to be Captain Phillips, because that sounds like most film that's the film out of the 5 I really want to see, but I don't think it's got a chance.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to say Gravity. I've only actually seen American Hustle out of these, but I think Gravity is gonna win.
Okay, I think I'm gonna go for 12 Years a Slave.
Oh, split vote.
We're split.
Split vote. We'll just have to go online right now and see who won. Actually, it's probably that's the last award of the night, isn't it? It's probably not quite been decided, that one yet.
Yeah.
Give it 20 minutes. Okay, so on to our next topic. I thought the one that would lend best to a segue that I haven't managed to make would have been Molly's topic, the transatlantic TV conversions. It's like the most complicated way to put it, but...
This week I wrote a feature for the site, Britain's best, or 6 best TV exports from the view of an American. So I think a lot of people took some issues with things that I put on the list. Just for anyone who hasn't seen it, it's The Fades, which was a very short-lived supernatural drama a couple of years ago, Misfits, Skins, Sherlock, Doctor Who, and My Mad Fat Diary, which premieres on the 17th. Okay, so My Mad Fat Diary would have premiered yesterday when this airs. So it got me to thinking of a lot of TV shows that were created in Britain or the UK, have their own US versions, like The Office, couple others. Being Human, which I mentioned earlier, also has a US version. Skins tried to have a US version, but that failed horribly. And did any of you guys try to watch that? Because I got about 10 minutes into it, and I turned it off and started watching the original Skins.
Believe it or not, I watched the whole first episode. In fact, I think I watched... When was it get cancelled? Was it like 4 episodes in? I think I watched all the episodes.
Yeah, it was cancelled very early on. I can't remember. I honestly did not watch anything other than the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, it wasn't good. I don't know why I watched as much as I did.
Yeah, they had a lot of legal issues in the US because they tried to throw a launch party, but all of the cast members were under 18, and the drinking age here is 21 for anyone who doesn't know. So they got into a lot of trouble because all of their cast was like way under the drinking age at this party. Yeah, so that was I think that pretty much indicated how awful it was. Also, I don't know how many of you guys knew this, but they were also going to try and adapt the Misfits for the US.
Well, see, Misfits was kind of like a spin-off of Heroes, wasn't it? Not a spin-off, but that's clearly where they took the inspiration from, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was very similar.
So do you not think trying to move that over to America would be too much like Heroes?
I mean, given all of the comic book TV shows that we have out here now, I wouldn't have put it past them, but this was a couple years ago. It was also the guy who did Gossip Girl who was trying to do it, so I don't think that would have been a fantastic fit.
Oh, that sounds horrendous.
Yeah. This guy also did Cult on the CW, which was cancelled before it reached all the episodes. They pulled it before they aired all the episodes. He did the Carrie Diaries and Heart of Dixie, which they're also on the edge of being cancelled, I believe. So I think I'm glad that Misfits wasn't brought to the US. I think it would have been way too close to Heroes.
Yeah. And I think as well, like with Misfits, with it being kind of the young offenders, and like you kind of mentioned your feature, Molly, about like all the dead bodies that kind of pile up. I don't know how well that translates to American TV. I don't know if maybe it's just me, but I just don't quite see it working as an American. I think that's maybe why Skins didn't work. I don't know. But
no,
it feels like it wouldn't be something that would work.
I agree. I think, this might be a sweeping generalization, but I think that British TV tends to be a little bit darker, especially the teen dramas tend to be a lot darker than teen dramas in the US. Like, they more readily go into sex, drugs, and death than dramas in the US, which are more, they're more like the Carrie Diaries or the Vampire Diaries. Everybody's writing in diaries. But to move on a little bit, I don't know if any of you guys watch Elementary and Sherlock, but that's a huge debate in the US which one's the better adaptation of Sherlock Holmes.
I'm a huge Elementary fan. I love it. It's the only procedural that I watch these days.
Yeah, same.
And I prefer it to Sherlock, obviously with the Cumberbatch hate, but more because it's so different. They took a lot of risk with it. Obviously having Lucy Liu playing Dr. Watson and having Sherlock portrayed as a recovering drug addict and pretty crazy, kind of manic. sort of thing. I think that's a bit different from what you see elsewhere.
Yeah, I'm more of a fan of Elementary than Sherlock. I actually just recently watched Sherlock because so many of my friends were telling me it was better than Elementary, so I decided to check it out and see for myself. And I like Sherlock. I'm not, I don't hate Benedict Cumberbatch as much as you, but I wasn't a huge fan of him. And I think just staying sort of neutral on it made me enjoy it, but I don't think that you can really compare Elementary and Sherlock. I think they're two entirely different series that were pulled from the same source material, but I mean they did entirely two different things with it.
Yeah, definitely. Is anyone want to fight the side for Sherlock?
No, I'll stick up for Sherlock. I really enjoy Sherlock, and actually, it's quite funny having this conversation really, because I don't really watch a lot of British TV. I prefer the comedy. I like the British sense of humour, so I watch more probably, although I watch a lot of American comedy as well, but if it's a BBC drama, I tend not to be interested at all. It's production values and all of that, not as great as the US. It just doesn't really appeal to me at all. And actually the first series of Sherlock came and went, and I just wasn't interested in it, but a friend kind of forced us to watch it on DVD, and I really loved it, and I'm not a huge fan of Benedict Cumberbatch, in terms of I won't go as far as to say I love him, but I think he's very good, and Martin Freeman's brilliant as well. Has the latest season gone out in America, Molly?
Yeah, I think so. I think it finished up. I know it was a couple weeks behind in the UK, but I think it finished up.
Yeah.
I actually, in regards to Sherlock, I have to say that their version of Moriarty, played by Andrew Scott, is so much... I mean, I love Natalie Dormer, who plays the gender-swapped version on Elementary, but I think Andrew Scott's portrayal is amazing, and I think Sherlock has it in the bag with that one.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue with you there. Like you say, I love Natalie Dormer as well, but I don't know, she just didn't seem... She's too cutesy for it, I think.
Yeah.
She doesn't seem like she should be Moriarty.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's not got that evilness.
I was kind of intrigued to see what the Americans thought actually of because I don't think the latest series has gone down as well in the UK as the previous series. I think it's been a lot more without spoiling too much. Watson got married, and there's some new characters brought into it, and it's been more of a focus on the personal relationships rather than, a crime to solve every week. And I think people have had a bit of a problem with that, a bit of a problem with the structure and the way it's gone. But I've really enjoyed it just purely because I love the characters and I love the portrayal of the characters. But
No, I was just going to say I heard the same thing, and a lot of people were complaining that it was sort of fan service, like the writers Stephen Moffat and Mark Gatiss, or I can't say their names, but they were saying that the writers really sort of played on what the fans wanted, which was more character relationships rather than the crimes, and I saw a lot of people complaining about that, but I also enjoyed it, so I'm not complaining.
The one that I wanted to bring up not necessarily wanted to bring up, but the only one that I could think for the kind of UK to US conversion, Top Gear. I know a lot of Americans really love the British version of it with Jeremy Clarkson, Richard Hammond and James May, but I used to watch the American version. It was an interesting enough show, and it couldn't live up to the same standard, I'm afraid, and I think that's the same for most things. The Office is the only one that I can think of off the top of my head that's been really successful.
I would say The Office and probably Being Human, because in the US I believe it's still airing, but other than that I can't think of anything else.
House of Cards is the obvious one as well. British show made into a US show. Obviously very different, because I think it was a mini-series in Britain. And obviously they've expanded it out and made it more glossy and really extended the storyline. But that's obviously done really, really well. So I just wanted to mention, obviously, the fact that Fox are remaking Broadchurch, which went out in the UK. I think it was about a year ago. I think it was this time last year, maybe March last year.
That's the David Tennant one, yeah?
Yeah, did anyone watch Broadchurch?
Yeah, I watched it.
I think they showed the UK one in the US as well.
They did.
If I'm correct, yeah. Yeah, and David Tennant is playing the same role as he did in the UK one, in the US one.
What?
Which I just find really bizarre.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, so is he going to play it exactly the same as he did the UK one?
Do you think they'll just Photoshop him into it?
Well, presumably, obviously, it's going to be slightly different in terms of set in America, and they might slightly change the characters a little bit. But I think the basic premise is the same, which is a young boy is found dead on the beach, and it's like a small town murder mystery.
Yeah, I think I heard the end. Sorry, I think the ending's going to be different. I don't think it's going to be the same. I don't know. I think I've read somewhere that they're maybe going to change who did it, because everyone obviously is like, "What's the point?"
Yeah.
I was going to say, wouldn't it be cool if instead of being washed up on some British beach, just washed up in the Jersey Shore, and all the fake tan, just have him covered in fake tan and piercings and tank top.
That sounds horrible.
That would be awesome. I would watch that. That'd be hilarious.
Well, actually, Stu, I think I have the same level of hatred for David Tennant that you have for Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh, really?
I cannot.
David Tennant.
No, I think David Tennant. He's a funny one because obviously he did Doctor Who, and again, I don't have any interest in Doctor Who. It's a British TV show. Don't care. But since then, he's just done some terrible film roles. He does all these horrible Virgin Media ads that you get in the UK, and I think he looked out a bit with Broadchurch. I think he was, well, not the worst thing in it, but he was, next to Olivia Colman, who's just amazing in everything that she does.
Yeah.
I just think it's bizarre that he's playing exactly the same character, and it's just. Anyway,
I'll tell you a show. To go, or a mini series to go back and watch. That'll change your mind on David Tennant. It's called Casanova.
Okay.
It was a BBC Three series, and that was when I.
Oh, BBC.
No, honestly, it's so good. It's just really, really silly, and it's got a perfect blend of comedy and drama. It's honestly so good.
Okay.
I think you'll really like that if you go back and watch that. That was his big break for me. That was when I first noticed him.
Okay.
Okay, you ruined my segue, kind of. But moving on to Liam's topic, The Walking Dead, fusing Britishness and Americanness into the one with, obviously, you've got Andrew Lincoln, David Morrissey. Liam, you want to talk about The Walking Dead coming back, didn't you?
Yeah, well, it was just mainly kind of, because I know, obviously, you guys, or some of us, have been talking about, in the kind of, on the website team, we've been talking about how much you don't like it, and kind of, like Stu, I know you said you haven't watched it, and you're not going to watch it after the mid-season finale, and I know I've read a lot of reviews, like, on some websites and that as well, kind of saying that it's getting a bit tedious and everything now, but obviously the ratings, certainly in America, because I don't know what they're like over here in the UK, but in America I know the ratings are going through the roof, and every kind of time the ratings just seems to be going on the up and up. So people seem to be tuning in, but the critics don't seem to be liking it. And I just thought, get your ideas, see what you kind of thought about The Walking Dead, how you feel it's going, and what you kind of think about why people are watching it when the critics are saying that it's not worth watching.
So this was purely to debate me then?
Well, no, not necessarily.
No, Stu, I hate it as well.
Oh, good. I might have a lot to say. I'll let you.
Well, I might be the only one that likes it then.
No, I like it. Sort of.
I'll say first since this is my topic. I mean, I like it. I think because Kate, you once tweeted saying that it's trying to be like Game of Thrones. We don't care about kind of the characters or something, and I don't think it's trying to be like that. And if it is, it's failing big time because, like you say, I don't care about any of the characters, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
When certain people got killed off in the mid-season finale, and that, it's not like you were that bothered. But I still find myself liking it. And I think it's more the sense of the way of people are dying. It's more about me than anything else. I don't know. But I quite like the gruesome ways and obviously the kind of set pieces with the zombies and stuff like that. And I still enjoy it. I didn't quite like the return last week. Yeah, last week now. Kind of mostly focusing on Carl, because I think that the actor that plays him, no offense to the guy, he's not the strongest of actors. I don't think he's good enough to kind of carry a whole episode. I much preferred I've totally forgotten it. What's the name? The woman's name? Michonne. Totally forgotten her name there. Like, I thought her bit kind of flashbacky bits were quite good. And I wish it was an episode of that, to be honest, because I really like her. But yeah, I think it's good. It's not amazing. And, it's not up there with Game of Thrones or stuff, amazing TV like that. But it's good for kind of watching for a bit of horror, because I don't really think there's much else kind of horror on TV. So I still like this. I think I have a feeling I'm in a minority more than anything else.
Well, I personally enjoy it, but I think I enjoy it for all the opposite reasons that you do. I do love the characters. I love Glenn and his girlfriend, whose name I'm totally forgetting. Maggie? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I love Norman Reedus' character, Daryl. And I think he's a huge fan favorite, at least in the U.S. And he's on the run with Beth, which I also did not like last week's episode because I don't like Rick or Carl. And I loved Michonne's bits, but I'm looking forward to this week's episode because they're going to be exploring more characters. I hope that they don't do this every episode where they pick like one or two groups of characters and only focus on them, because I think it'll get very tedious, and I think that would have people tune out. But I think the reason that it has like such good ratings in the US is because I honestly don't know, but then I also don't understand the ratings in the US anyway. NCIS is always very high up in the ratings every week, and that show is just absolutely boring. I think it mostly has to do with like the people that have the ratings boxes they generally tend to be older people because younger generations are watching their TV more online. So I think it really only indicates what the older generations are watching. But I mean, I don't know. I might be wrong.
Can you just imagine a 60-year-old couple sitting watching The Walking Dead?
Well, I'll kind of say my piece because I think when it first started, I think we can probably all agree that the first episode was amazing. It was, really fresh and different and intriguing and just something new on television, and it was, it really hooked me anyway. And I think to be, the first series in general was really good television. I think it started going wrong in the second series when they just were stuck at the farm for pretty much the whole series, and it got a bit bogged down by that. Picked up again a bit in the third series when we introduced the governor. I just thought he was a really good character, but again it had a really disappointing finale and too much filler. And when it came back for the fourth series, I watched the first episode and they introduced so many characters, and I just found myself just on my phone all the way through it. I just wasn't really watching it. It wasn't hooking me at all. And then you kind of get to the stage where you hate watching something, so we kind of hate watched it for about 4 episodes. And I think the last episode that I watched was the one where Rick kind of abandons Carol by the side of the road and just tells her not to come back, after she's killed those people. Yeah. Which I was really happy about because I hate Carol. But then, thinking about it, I pretty much hate all the characters, and I think that's the biggest problem for me. Well, I think there are 2 big problems. The main one being what you need with this kind of show, post-apocalyptic world, zombies. You need the group, and it works best when they're on the run, when they're moving forward. And I think I wish they had a goal to aim for. I wish they had the place they needed to be, or I wish they needed to find, there was a person they needed to find, or, they were heading for a boat or something, but their main aim, and maybe this is what you would do in that situation, their main aim is to settle and to try and build a new life and just survive. And I think that's the problem, they get to the farm and they get to the prison and it's so static. And I think when you have that kind of situation, you need compelling characters, and I just hate all of the characters pretty much. I like Michonne, she's good, and obviously the governor was really good as well, but the only reason I would ever go back to watching The Walking Dead is when they kill Carl off, I will be there. I will be watching it. And when that zombie, I just want a zombie to kill him and then to put on that stupid hat that he wears. I hate that hat so much. I just hate Carl. But it feels a bit like a soap opera now. A soap opera within a post-apocalyptic zombie world, and it just. And yeah, like Liam, you mentioned, they just kill people off, and they think they're making high stakes television. But when you don't care about the characters, you just just kill everybody off. I don't care.
Exactly. It's like when you say that you like Glenn as a character. Well, what I can tell you, I don't know a thing about Glenn apart from that he likes Maggie and wants to marry her. I don't care then if he gets killed off, because Why would I care? It's just...
I think...
But I like seeing them get killed off, I think.
Well, I think the reason that I like Glenn so much is because he sort of can see into the future. Like you were saying, Kate, I really had a hard time when they, at the end of, I think it was the first season, when they got to the CDC, and the CDC guy was pretty much like, the world is entirely messed up and there's no saving it. Like, you all just, like, there's nothing you can do. You're all stuck with this for the rest of your lives, for the rest of forever. And I had I didn't like that. And now that you say it, yeah, I don't like the staticness of it, but I do care about the characters enough that I want to see them survive to a point where, zombies can't overrun the world forever, can they? I feel like they don't play with the future enough.
All you said that the first season was great. The first season was great. It was one of the best seasons of television, in my opinion, ever made. Like, single season. And like you said, it died a death in season 2. This is my rant, by the way. I'm just going to go all into it. The problem with the show, it's not that I hate the characters. The characters are all backup characters. They're all supporting cast. Even Rick, he went from being the main attraction, this cool cowboy guy looking after his family and all that, try to get back to his family, and now he's just nothing. Some random guy with mental health issues. It's not fun. It's not cool. The new cast that they introduced, they're not interesting. Tyrese, is Tyrese, isn't it?
Yeah.
Apparently in the comic books, he is, or the graphic novels, whatever. He's just a total badass and runs the show, and he's done nothing since they brought him in. I was really looking forward to having him coming in along with the Governor and Michonne, and they just totally ruined it. Governor was great. David Morrissey absolutely made the show for me in season 3. He was the one shining light from season 3, made it good. And spoiler alert, get killed off mid-season finale there. If you've not watched it by now, it's your own fault. You should have watched it. But he was the one bit about the show that was still great. It was such a brilliant evil character that you could relate with, and they got rid of that. Herschel was the other one. Don't know why. Again, spoilers. Killed him off. I don't know why they done that. Of the prison camp, he was the one guy you could relate to, that you actually felt something for. And now they're just left with a load of, let's say, supporting characters.
I heard they killed the baby off as well.
Oh god, so they did it? I totally forgot about that. It just shows you how irrelevant it was.
They went there.
But, well, yeah, like you say, Liam, it appears like they'll try to be like Game of Thrones and, we don't care if we kill off characters. It depends what characters you kill off. Game of Thrones does it well because you actually want the characters to survive. You don't care about the Walking Dead guys. They're all just a bit useless, aren't they? And I'm quite pleased because I've held true to my New Year's resolution, and I have not caved in and watched the second part of this season, and I've got no desire to. I don't think I'll be breaking it anytime soon. Not unless something spectacular happens. It was always something done well, was the big set pieces, but I'm not going to watch every week just for the occasional big set piece. And that's me done. You can come out now.
I think that's what they do, though. They have the big set piece episodes, but in between it's just so dull, and it goes on for I don't know how. It's not as long. I don't think it's like it's not 24 episodes a season, is it? But it's it's around the 15, 16 episode mark, I think. And to have 2 or 3 good episodes, or good in inverted, big budget episodes where things happen and plot moves along and things like that, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
So.
I think it would do it well to do like a Game of Thrones and do like a 10 episode season, because then at least it would maybe cut out a bit of the filler, because they've obviously got to fit more in. But yeah, I think the kind of 15 episodes, however long it's on for, like you say, they do need to fill it with a lot of guff. And
I think you hit the nail on the head, Kate, when you said without them having a goal, it's not. Yeah. That's what draws the interest out of it, is having something to do. I mean, it's not. In season 4, the best episodes were the ones where we were following the Governor when he had a goal, something to aim for. Those were the best episodes by a mile since probably season 1, maybe season 2.
I don't know whether, cause they've had so many showrunners as well, haven't they? And they've had so many upheavals in the writing and the production team. I don't know if that's helped.
Never should get rid of him. He was doing good work with him, and it was creative differences. Basically, he didn't want to make as much money as the the producers did, apparently. And they sacked him. And I think that was the biggest mistake. Because most of the cast members came on because of him. Like, they want to work with him. I think you can tell when he left that it all went downhill. Anyway, sorry for dragging that down a little bit.
On to a lighter note.
Yeah.
Okay, so my topic is... I'm really worried this is going to be so boring now. I produced the new feature this week, Best of the Web. So I thought it'd be nice to tie in that with a topic about web series and how they are on the up. And I think that they are going to be up there with TV and movies as the third form of media in a couple of years' time. You can look at YouTube and you'll see all these videos with millions of subscribers. I mean, what's that PewDiePie fellow on now? Is it 40 million subscribers or something like that? That's more people than watch TV in Britain. It's more people than there are in Britain. So I think that YouTube series and vlogs and all that can be a legitimate form of media. I think it's something as well that with what we do, doing the online blog, magazine, whatever you want to call it, I think we are so closely linked with that sort of thing. I mean, you look at any of our rival channels, they're all doing podcasts. Of course, ours are the best. Podcasts and video series and different content like that. They've all got their own YouTube channel. So I think it's something that's, because it's so linked with us, I think it should be regarded higher than what it is.
Yeah.
Any of you guys watch kind of web series or anything like that? I know, Molly, last week you mentioned... Oh, I've totally forgot the name of it now.
It's the Lizzie Bennet Diaries.
Lizzie Bennet Diaries, that's the one, yeah.
Yeah, it's that one actually.
More diaries.
Yeah, I know. It's, that one actually finished up last spring, I think, and they started a new one called Emma Approved, based on Jane Austen's Emma. And in regards to it being kind of similar to regular television, it's a web series, but it took a winter hiatus this year for like 2 months, and
the cast getting too big for their boots.
I mean, I don't know. They're all like relatively unknowns, but like they took a brief, I think it was probably for the holidays, but it just sort of made me realize how close to TV it's really getting. It was kind of insane.
Yeah, I mean, I watch a lot more web series now in the last maybe 9 months or so than I do television. I don't watch my TV anymore. I just watch YouTube channels, and I'm going to count like Netflix series in with that as well, like Netflix original series. Mm-hmm. Because they are, in effect, web series. You can't get them on your TV or cable.
Yeah.
I suppose that kind of links in as well. I know, Liam, you said you were going to watch the new Amazon pilots.
Yeah, I've watched a few of them.
I mean, how do they compare, firstly, to the Netflix original?
I don't know, really. I mean, they're alright. I mean, they're good enough. I think, I quite like the way that Amazon are doing it, that, they put the pilots on and then get people to vote.
Yeah.
For which one they like, and then that one gets into a series. I think then there's a problem with that is if you like the first episode and you want to watch the next one, then that might not get picked up because it doesn't get enough votes, or it could be in 6 months' time or however long it takes for them to make it, and by that time you've lost interest or forgot about it, and you don't end up watching it. So I think in some ways it's got a couple of issues, but it's an interesting idea that they're doing, and some of them, I mean, they've got quite big... The ones I've watched have got quite big people in it. I've only watched the 3 comedies, I haven't watched the dramas, but one of them's got Natalie Zia, is it? Who was in The Following, and stuff like that.
Yeah, I know she's been in. Justified, that's what she's in.
Yes, she was in Justified, yes. So she's in one of them. Another one's got, I think it's Jeffrey Tambor, who I couldn't tell you what he's been in, but he's one of those people that kind of... Yes, that was where I saw it from. So he's like a guy that kind of pops a lot of stuff. And then the other one's got Saffron Burrows, who's an English actress. She's been in a couple of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episodes, and she's been in other stuff as well. So, I mean, they're getting quite big, relatively quite well-known people. And one of the dramas has got Titus Welliver, who was in Lost and The Good Wife and things like that. He's been in a few things. So they're kind of getting quite good people into them, so I think that's quite good. But yeah, they're just as good as other TV shows, to be honest. I think I prefer the Netflix stuff.
Yeah.
But again, I think it hurts that you can only watch one episode and then you've got to wait to see whether everyone else likes the same show as you and whether that gets picked up. So, do
you think it's a good thing that Amazon are trying to get into this market? That try to compete with Netflix and produce their own content?
It could be. I mean, it can't hurt them, certainly. I think it's just, you can see it getting to the point where everyone's going to be doing it. You just think, only so much that everyone can only watch, really. But I mean, fair play to them if they want to give it a bash, and they can get, good actors and good writers and stuff on it. And again, I think it's maybe similar to Netflix that they can. I mean, I suppose American cable shows like HBO and that they can kind of do more kind of edgy stuff than kind of the broadcast stuff like ABC and that. I think again, it's kind of another place where people can go if they want to make those kind of shows, with the nudity and all that. Then they can do that, and I don't think it can hurt them. I don't know whether it's ever going to take on as much as Netflix has, but I suppose. I swear a few years ago, if you'd said about Netflix, everyone had been like, that'll never catch on, and now look at us a few years later. Everyone watches it, so...
I had a question about the Amazon pilots, actually, because I remember last year them doing this, and then they took 2 to series, didn't they, I think?
Yeah, I think they did, yeah.
Did those series ever actually happen? Because it just seems like now we're back at pilot season. It's like I don't remember any coverage of the series whatsoever.
I think one of them did, because one of them was about, congressmen sharing a flat together or living in a house together, and had John Goodman in it. I know that one got picked up to series, but it's kind of like I say, we were all talking about it, or people were talking about it a year ago, and then everyone's forgotten about it when it actually got released because it takes them so long to put it to series. So I don't think there was much fanfare, but I know certainly that one it did get made into a proper series, but I couldn't even tell you what the other one was, whether that happens or not. So it might well happen again.
Was it not one of the ones that David absolutely tore to shreds in our kind of mini preview of them? I think it was one that he just didn't score. He just said it was too bad to score it, or something like that. I can't even remember what it was about.
I do think they've got some way to go to catch up with Netflix, though, because I think we could all probably name about 4 or 5 original Netflix series, but Amazon, I wouldn't have a clue.
So what about taking Netflix and comparing it to, let's say, HBO or AMC? Do you think they'll ever be competing with them? Just with their original series?
I mean, the House of Cards, I believe, was nominated for a bunch of Golden Globes this year, so I think they already are.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah. Plus, they've done this big deal with, is it Marvel?
Yeah.
They're doing 4 Marvel shows, and then they're all going to come together and do an Avengers typey thing with them. So, I mean, that's a pretty big deal for them to get all that kind of thing.
I know they were in the running to show Better Call Saul, the Breaking Bad spin-off. Were they not in early discussions to host that themselves?
I think, that's going to be on UK Netflix.
Like what they did with Breaking Bad, is it?
Yeah, the same, because I think Breaking Bad, it had trouble picking up a commissioner, I think, in the UK, so Netflix took it, obviously did really well, so they're doing the same thing with Better Call Saul. I think that's what it's called, isn't it? Yeah.
But, like I mentioned in the feature that we just published, I think a lot of people are getting into they're running web series like a business, like a TV station. I mean, there's massive production houses that make millions of dollars and produce hours worth of content every week. I'm an absolute addict for Rooster Teeth and Achievement Hunter. I was so chuffed to get the article retweeted from one of the guys. That's my favourite that we've had. But their content's brilliant. It's absolutely hilarious. The guys like Freddie W, you've probably heard of, big YouTube star. Rocket Jump, I think it is, his new channel's called. It's because he's brought more people in, and they're now doing regular stuff like a TV station, and a lot of kind of nerdy things like that. I think this is where that audience is leading the way. You get a lot of podcast series that are just an audio channel doesn't quite do it justice. You need to be watching it like it's a chat show sort of thing, and I honestly think that's the future. I think 2 or 3 years down the line, I think that's what we'll be seeing most of. So, was there anything else you guys wanted to talk about?
I don't know. Well, I was maybe just going to maybe quickly, I know we'll probably want to go off on more stuff after this, but maybe just quickly about the CW picking up. They've picked up Arrow, Vampire Diaries, Carrie Diaries, the originals, and Reign for seasons next year.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if you
really
guys...
glad the Vampire Diaries is still going strong. That's one of my guilty pleasures. So I'm glad that's still picking up an audience and all that. I know a lot of our fans love it as well, so yeah, pretty good.
They've renewed, have they given Supernatural a 10th series as well, haven't they?
Oh, they had. Did I mess that off? Yeah.
Yeah, which I loved Supernatural. I was one of the biggest Supernatural fans, and then it should have ended at series 5, and they continued it, and they've continued it, and I don't watch it anymore. But the fact that it went to Friday nights, which is the death knell of television, and came back from that, and now it's got a 10th series, is you got to admire it from afar.
Yeah.
Even though I can't watch it anymore. But yeah, it'll probably be the last. They'll probably do a nice round 10 and finish it off.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, just for a close up, anybody got any wrestler impressions or hairdresser they want to recommend or anything like that?
I don't think anyone could do any better than Stuart's impression.
No, that was
Yeah.
outstanding. I had to throw it in as a wee extra at the end as well. Okay, so
Although I did think you should call it, as it's episode 4, you should call the podcast A New Hope. Just
you know what? I'll do that. Just especially for you, Liam. I will do that.
oh, thanks.
So, TVFR podcast, issue number 4, A New Hope. So, thanks for listening, guys. Remember, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Google+. Just search TV and Film Review. You can get us on YouTube, if it's working yet. YouTube.com/TV and Film Reviews with an S at the end. Catch us on iTunes if you search TVFR. You're hopefully already listening on iTunes, but just in case you're not, go and do that. And you can download us at Bandcamp, tvandfilmreview.bandcamp.com. And remember get involved with us. We've got our forum that you can find. I'll put a link in the bottom of the page, and you can find it off our homepage as well. We'll be doing TVFR Film Club starting from, what do you think, Kate, next week? 2 weeks? End of the month, what we call it?
No, where are we now? Mid-Feb. Hopefully by the end of the month we'll kick something off.
And we'll keep everyone posted with that. But if you want to get involved in the next podcast as well, so you can get us on Twitter if you want to send us any questions in. If you hashtag AskTVFR. If you want to send us a message on Facebook, or you can email me at stu@tvandfilmreview.com, and I'll put your questions on a note, and I'll actually remember them next week, promise. So thanks to our guests on this week. Liam, if you want to give your Twitter a wee plug and maybe get you a few more followers.
Oh yeah, my Twitter is @crisp_packet.
Okay, and Molly?
My Twitter is Molly Rocket, MOLLYROCKIT.
And Kate?
And you can follow me at @culturemouse. That's all one word.
_culturemouse, really? I think I might be following the
Yeah,
wrong
Culture
person
Mouse is already taken.
Oh, really? I think I might be following that person instead of you. I'll make sure that I change that.
Really? Oh, are they interesting?
I don't know. So thanks very much, guys, for being on this week, and maybe see you next week as well if you fancy coming on. And thanks again to everyone for listening. Bye bye.
They took you, night man, and you don't belong to them. They left me in a world of darkness without your sexy hands, and I'm